Solve from Vertex, and today we're going to talk about how to solve from standard form, okay? So if I have a quadratic equation in standard form, it's going to look like this. ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Don't forget, it has to equal 0 to be considered standard form, okay? So far, so good? Okay, so to solve, that means I want to know what x equals, right? So here's our quadratic formula. Thank you. So the nice thing, it's a lot, and we're going to go slow today. But the nice thing about quadratic formula is it'll solve any quadratic. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but if I've ever asked you guys to do anything like from vertex form, right? That's the extra box. That's the one you have to start by cutting the middle number in half. Have you guys noticed that I've only ever given you ones that have an even middle number for those? Right? It's because those are the ones that make that easier. And then there's some that factor easy and some that don't. The quadratic, so for vertex and factored form, they're easier methods, but they only work for some quadratics. But for this one, it'll work for any quadratic, okay? So we're going to start just by identifying the pieces going into it, okay? So when can I use a quadratic formula to solve an equation? Always. You can always use it. Any quadratic will be solved with my quadratic equation, okay? Now, the quadratic formula is how I find what x equals, okay? So be careful, because my a, my b, and my c, those are the numbers in front of the x's, and then the constant, they shouldn't have x's in them, they're just numbers, okay? So look at this first one. What number is in front of a, or in front of the x squared? What is it? Anyone? I hear 1. 1 is the number in front of x squared? -1. Come on, guys. I know we just had a break. Are we here today? No? Eli's not here? Okay. -1? Because there's a negative, and when there's no number, it's a 1, right? Okay, good. What about in front of b? 1? Okay. And then what's C? 110, be careful. -110. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my setup. So x equals -b plus or minus. I'm not doing any simplifying. The simplifying on this is pretty tricky. So right now, all I'm doing is setting up, I'm putting my a, my b, and my c into my equation. So wherever in my equation there was a b, I put 1. Wherever there was an a, I put -1, and wherever there was a c, I put -110. All right, for B, what's A? Lydia? 1, good. Okay. What's B, Noah? So close. There you go. Okay. And what's C, Paige? Yeah, good. Okay, I don't want you to do any simplifying. I just want you to take a minute and just try and set it up. Okay? Don't do any simplifying. Just take a second and just try and do the setup.